Good afternoon, or whatever time of day it is to you. Today, we're looking at some old El Paso ramen noodles. Now, this is a bit of a unique crossover because old El Paso typically makes taco-oriented products. As we see on the side, the instructions are pretty simple. Fill water to the line, stir it, microwave it on high for 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and then you let it sit and cool down. I highly recommend you let it sit and cool down when you microwave, because you'll end up burning your tongue like I did because I was not patient. The ingredients, though simple, give a complicated breakdown of the product. The macros, pretty par for the course for this. A little bit of calories, some protein, some fiber, a ton of sodium. It cost me about $1.88 per serving, plus any taxes, which is slightly above average for this type of product, and it is beef birria flavored, so at least it's meshing some of its taco seasoning into the ramen. Nothing unique on the bottom. Alrighty, let us open this and see what's on the inside. When you initially open this, you'll find it contains nothing but just seasoning and noodles. Quick close up on that. There's really nothing else in here. There's some small semblance of vegetables, mostly carrots, and some dried meat in there. That's all I could find. My hands were clean before I did this. Don't worry. But typically with these noodle cups, you get whole packets of vegetables, and usually some sauce packets too. But that simply wasn't the case this time around, which is somewhat disappointing, and points will be deducted where appropriate. Alrighty, let's cook. Let's cook. 1 second, let me just cut. Alright, there we go. Alright, now that it's cooked, let's open this up and take a bite. Alright, let me just rip off the labeling pack here. And this is definitely a big spoon job. Give me 1 second. Alright. I tried to eat it with a fork, but this is not a job for a fork. It's a job for a big spoon. Rookie mistake. Alright, now let's get a look at these noodles. As you can see, they are pretty small, and there's just not a lot here besides broth and noodles. Gonna zoom in here on the broth with the noodles, and it's again very puny, very small. Doesn't look very appetizing. The standards were low, but by God, this is disappointing. Alright. Okay. I'm just gonna try to get a good bite here. Alright. So the noodles don't taste like anything at all. Like cardboard would have more texture than what the noodles offer you. The only thing that has any semblance of seasoning is the broth, and it's a very generic spicy beef broth. I went in for another bite, and there's just nothing. You can't really taste the vegetables or the meat because it's all so like small. It's like fish. It's like I'm eating fish flakes with the meat or the vegetables. Now I am gonna eat the whole thing, but that's just because I have low standards of what I eat, and I paid $1.88 for this, and I'm not gonna let it go to waste. Here's a better picture. Here's me trying to get a better picture of the broth for the camera, and as you can see, that's all that it is just some seasoning and dry vegetable flakes. And I am going to take a bite of just the vegetable, or just the broth, see how that tastes. And that's where most of the seasoning comes in. But you can get a nice broth with most ramen cups these days, so it isn't really saying much. All in all, I'm gonna have to give this like a 4 out of 10. Go buy something else. If you like this video, feel free to like it. If you don't like it, feel free to dislike it. what products should I review next? And I strongly prefer snacks. Alright, see you next time, I guess.